All right, let's get right into it. When I say the word Buddha, what pops into your head? For most of us, it's that calm, peaceful person sitting under a tree, right? Well, what if I told you that image is just the tiniest fraction of a reality so huge, so mind-bending, it completely rewrites the rules of space and time?
Today, we're going to go way beyond that familiar picture. We're diving into a classic text that shows a Buddha not just as one enlightened person, but as, well, a cosmic force, an expression of a reality that is, quite literally, inconceivable. So let's just throw out what we think we know and see what we find.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with what a Buddha actually does on a cosmic scale. Then we'll get into the unbelievable powers that make it all possible. After that, we'll look at the all-knowing mind that fuels these powers, see how this all connects back to you personally, and we'll end with an idea that basically dissolves reality as we know it, the entire universe in one speck of dust.
Okay, first up, a Buddha's cosmic work. Now, try to forget the idea of this being a one-time thing. The source material we're looking at describes the life of a Buddha as this grand, repeating, universal performance, something that happens in countless worlds, all for the benefit of everyone. And this cosmic show, it follows a very specific script. First, a Buddha shows up in a world. Then, they renounce the worldly life to go find the truth. They achieve total enlightenment, the classic Bodhi tree moment. Next, and this is crucial, they teach the way to others. And finally, they enter final nirvana, demonstrating that all things are impermanent. You see, this whole cycle is a deliberate performance, a teaching in itself.
So why? What's the point of all this cosmic theater? The scripture couldn't be clearer. The one and only reason is compassion. It's all about guiding every single being out of the cycle of suffering. It is, for sure, the ultimate rescue mission.
Now, a mission on that scale, you're going to need some serious abilities. And this brings us to the unthinkable power of a Buddha. How do they even operate across the entire cosmos? Well, the answer is going to stretch your brain a little bit.
So our text says that a Buddha with just one single...
Yep, you heard me. Every galaxy, every star, every planet you can imagine, and all the ones you can't, all held inside a single pore of their skin, and no one would even notice. This just perfectly illustrates the scale we're dealing with, where the infinitely massive fits right inside the infinitely tiny.
And how about with just a single...
Just try to wrap your head around that. It's like a cosmic broadcast that reaches every single being in existence, all at the same time. But everyone gets a custom-tailored message, just for them, in a language they perfectly understand. That's the kind of communication we're talking about here.
And believe me, it doesn't stop there. The text just casually lists these powers that sound like something out of pure science fiction. Manifesting countless bodies, shoving mountain ranges the size of universes into a pore, holding every living being on the tip of one finger. You see, this isn't just magic. It's showing us that for a Buddha, the laws of physics that we live by, they're completely fluid.
So you have to be asking yourself, where in the world do these reality-shattering powers come from? The source text points to one single place, the boundless, all-knowing mind of a Buddha. That is the engine driving everything we've just talked about.
So to get a handle on this, let's just compare. Our minds, they tend to work in a straight line. One thought, then the next, then the next. We see the world as divided up. There's me and there's you. There's here and there's over there. A Buddha's mind, on the other hand, is described as totally unified and instantaneous. It experiences everything, everywhere, all at once. The divisions just aren't there.
Okay, so if you can perceive everything, all at once, with no divisions, what does that do to something as basic as time?
And the answer in the text is just, wow. For a Buddha, all of time, past, present, and future, it all collapses into one single eternal now. Every second of the past, every possible future, and this very moment are all experienced at the same time. Time stops being a river flowing one way. It becomes an entire ocean, and you can experience the whole thing at once.
Look, I know this is some wild cosmic stuff, but you might be wondering, what does any of this have to do with me, with us? Well, the scripture actually makes a huge point of bringing it all down, from the cosmic to the very, very personal. What happens when you encounter these ideas?
The text actually lists a bunch of swift benefits. It says that just encountering this reality can act like a catalyst. It can quickly help you turn away from harmful actions, cut right through your doubts and confusion, get rid of whatever's blocking your path, and, this is the big one, it can awaken your very own potential for enlightenment. It's a jumpstart for some really profound change.
And that brings us to our last stop,
This is where all those big ideas, the cosmic work, the infinite power, the unified mind, they all come together in one breathtaking image of what reality actually is.
The text calls this state unobstructed liberation. Basically, it's a vision of reality where all the walls just dissolve. The part isn't separate from the whole. The tiny isn't separate from the vast. Everything is completely interconnected, and everything reflects everything else.
And here it is, the ultimate expression of that vision. That in one single, tiny, insignificant speck of dust, you can actually see infinite Buddhas appearing, teaching, and liberating beings across all of time and all of space. The whole cosmic show is happening right there, in the smallest thing you can imagine.
So, when we ask, what is a Buddha, according to this text, it's not just a person. A Buddha is the living, breathing embodiment of this truth, that the whole universe is right here in a speck of dust, and all of eternity is happening in this single moment. It's an inconceivable reality where the boundaries we take for granted, they just don't exist. And that kind of leaves us with one last thought to chew on. If this text is pointing to a reality where the infinite cosmos can be found in the tiniest particle imaginable, what does that say about the boundless potential that might just be hidden inside each and every one of us?